Well, to be honest, I didn't know which of 3 videos to do. So we're going to start with something we've not done on this channel before, and that's a tape recorder, a cassette recorder. A tape recorder to me means open reel. We've not done 8-track players, we've not done... You don't get much of that in the UK. It wasn't ever a thing. We went straight from reel-to-reel recorders to cassette recorders, missing out 8-track, but some imported cars came with them. And we do have a home one, just... you know, every 8-track tape I've got is country and western truck driving hits. So, this is a CTR75. I had to import this from the United States. It wasn't that it was that expensive. I think it was about $15, but the postage was about £35. So it's quite an investment. And the reason I bought this is I'm supposed to have one of these. It's supposed to be in the blue drawer in the organ workshop. Can I find it? No. And I was looking for it because I want to change the belts on it, because I knew the belts were no good. And the thing is about this, it's got Q and review, and we're doing 1 or 2 cassettes, and I've actually put some uploads on, haven't I, of cassettes of CB instruction tapes from 1981, and having Q and review just enables you to find that little bit. Now the 500 odd pound cassette deck we use in the mixer rack is a Tascam current model. Is it 202, something like that? Anyway, time's moved on, and the availability of the actual cassette mechanisms is so limited that they don't have these kind of features today. So this is boxed. It's got a whole... What does this say? Shirley gave me Madge somebody Miles something large reader. It was Mommy's. Anyway, move to something. Born 7th of October 1941, and her funeral was July the 4th, 1987. So we've got the extra information on the cassette recorder. One of the wonderful things about this model, it's got an unused earpiece that can stay unused. We've got the bottom piece of polystyrene in there. We've got the destruction book. I kind of expect this is going to belong to an older person, probably doing a bit of recording of their memoirs. It's actually in better condition than the one which should be in my blue drawer in the organ workshop. So it's not only come with the destructions, we've got the specification, and we've got the square kit diagram. So the beauty of this is that it's battery only. You can put power in through external power, which is 6 volts. Positive outer, that's naughty, isn't it? Earphone, auxiliary, remote, and mic. So you've got some good facilities on there. Is auxiliary bi-directional? We turn to the circuit diagram. Probably have to change the belts on this because it's going to be 40 years old. Put that down flat rather than on the product. So, changing the glasses for other ones. Done 1 church service today. We're cramming all this between church service. Let's see where they've got the auxiliary socket. So, earphone, as you'd expect. UPC 1350C audio IC from Nippon Electric Company. UPC 1470H from Nippon Electric Company. Mic. It's a proper electronic erase head, not a silly little magnet. Why can't I see the circuit diagram? Remote, earphone, external power, volume. Oh, here we are, auxiliary jack. So it's coupled with external mic. So it's going in at the same input as the external mic, but with resistors to attenuate it. Is that how I see it? Got internal mic, which is going to be a condenser type, or electret. Condenser is an old word. Going in at pin 12. We've got external mic going in at pin 12, and we've got auxiliary via this, I can't quite read that, is 820k resistor, but it's still going in at pin 12. So what it's not doing is giving us a line level out. I don't know how many little things like this did have line level out, because the trouble if you use the earphone jack, apart from being all the wrong impedance and level, is it's affected by the volume control. Anyway, that's all by the way. And all I want to do is to put a tape in and use Q and review, but we may as well look into it. So I need to put some batteries in. We'll just return this to its normal position. So yeah, what I was trying to say is, because it's external power only, with it being so slim and there's no internal power supply, the fact I bought an American one makes absolutely no difference whatsoever, because there's no power supply. So the fact it would be 110, 117 volts as against 230 volts is of no consequence. And we can see we have a proper erase head. Of course it's mono. Right, I got some batteries out and I put them down. I didn't bring them in here. Some years ago I did quite an expensive video for us on lots of different batteries, and we came to the conclusion that the ones sold in Aldi and Lidl were actually better than anything else on the market, and especially at cost. And the worst, I think, were Energizer. Right, so we'll get some batteries, which are now on. One of them's now on the floor. There was a comment on the last video that I dropped my beer on the floor at so many minutes into the recording. It wasn't my beer, it's a little glass knickknacks thing which we keep adapters in. The adapters are now all over the floor and the little glass jar is empty. So next time I need to use adapters, I won't be able to find any. Now I'm expecting this is going to need belts, but you never know. This is fun to put batteries in, isn't it? How do they both go in like this? They do, don't they? I think we've got a date code for 1986 there. So it is turning. That doesn't mean anything. Of course, I didn't bring a cassette into here, did I? We're going to have to be very careful what I play because of copyright. So I'm going to pause the video. I've probably said many times before, I have a sister who's 3 years older. She lives in York, and I think when she was at Northwich at one time, and this young lady here, Helen Massey, was BBC Radio 2's Choir Girl of the Year for 1996. And I've selected this because there's every chance that this is a produced by a church tape, that it won't come up as copyright. I'm not trying to push church music onto anybody, and this belongs to my late mother, so you know, there we are. So what we're going to do, there's no dirt on the tape head whatsoever. Don't know if we can get the angle right, but it's like it's never been used. And so we've got cue and review, which is why I bought it. Let's turn the sides over. Oh, that didn't work, did it? Oh, there's quite a lot of wow and flutter there. Yeah. Right. So we'll open it up. Yeah, something like a piano or a organ are really going to show up wow and flutter, whereas a pop tape is going to be a bit more forgiving and you're not going to notice it. We don't have any wow and flutter meters here. You know, it's not. Tape recorders aren't something which I'm going to look at more than once every so many years. Now, my training on tape recorders was with Philips on reel-to-reel tape recorders. Now, do I take that screw out? I can't believe I couldn't get one of these in the UK, because I certainly bought mine from Tandy's as it was. Right, so you've got the power connection wires there. That's weird, isn't it? What's this about? Yeah, you can see the belts are so slack. And I can't hear there's any poorly sounding capacitors in this. So pop that belt off. It's really easy to get to, isn't it, that? No dismantling at all. It doesn't go around anywhere weird. The only trouble is I've got to see whether we've actually got something that kind of size. I'm not going to go through capacitors or anything because nothing so far showing up as being dodgy. But it wouldn't harm it if they were changed. Good, well, even got a metal flywheel with a slight bit of weight to it. I'll pause the video and see if we've got a belt. So 6 days later, we get this cassette recorder back out. Of course, got a little random belt kit. It's a Chinese one, but it was from a UK supplier. So that's what we're wanting to replace. There's a little belt kit. Some of these, I did make sure I bought ones which were 1mm and not some of the really flimsy ones that are available. That's probably about what we're looking at. And I'll put all the rest away safely and forget where I've put them. It's always a bit of a guess as to whether that's the right kind of tightness. We won't put the screws in, but we better put some batteries in. I'm aware that wire's dangling, that's got to be dealt with. Okay, where's the fourth battery then? You know, you couldn't make that up, could you? Right. There's a Duracell battery kicking around. That's pretty flat. 1.3 out of an alkaline battery is not good. Right, well, we'll pause the video and we'll get another new battery out. Okay, having got another new battery out, here we go. Better put the lid on for now. And that's not too good on the wow and flutter. I'm going to get a different tape. I'm going to get a pre-recorded one, and let's hope we don't get copyright strike. Right, we use a couple of Reader's Digest tapes. They are always of the highest quality, and with any luck they could be, that won't be, there's always a possibility they are cover versions, kind of for easy listening use, which is ideal for our background music system. We have all these on record, but sometime in the past I was buying them on cassette, because our background music system works on multiple cassette playback. Anyway, go into fast forward, so it's a random point. Yeah, that's fine. And bear in mind, this is designed really for voice activation of speech type of things. I probably don't know what I said before. I bought one of these originally so I could plug it in the back of one of our scanners and come back from work and having loads of scanner activity without any gaps. That's at the end of the other side. Let's just go backwards a bit. Huh. Never leave tapes in the middle, always make sure they're at one end or the other. It's one of those, I'm going to start with B side and then we'll... Let's see whether we're at the appropriate point on the A side. I've got the last note. Now we can use cue and review, which is why I bought this. Yeah, that's fine. I'll wind those back at my leisure. Don't know why we went American there, but we did. There's a bit of wow and flux on that one. It just makes me wonder if there's a bit of degrading there. Right, well. Good. Right, we'll get this back together. It goes without saying that yesterday I was looking for a piece of music for a funeral next week. They want the coffin to go down to Elgar's Enigma. I thought it was a World War II computer. So, I know I've played it for a couple of weddings in my 40-year career. Yes, that wire is determined to pop out. So I knew I got the music somewhere, so I went in one of the untidy rooms full of untidy stuff, which is where I found the York 861, which I did yesterday, because it nearly fell on my head, and found the music, and I found the cassette recorder that I usually use for my organ practice when I'm needing to learn things, which has cue and review on it, but there's no fault on that one. So it's CTR82 from Realistic. First cassette recorder we had, my father purchased, and it's a Bush TP66. That's when Bush was part of Rank organisation, not part of Great Universal Mail Order catalogues or whatever they are this week. When it was a real make, and it was made in Japan, and I've still got that, and it works. Bush TP66, it's got manual record and automatic. So the final thing we'll do with this is I'll find a blank tape, and we'll make sure that it works in record. These are fun to put in, aren't they? Oh, that's one on the floor, but at least I know it's on the floor. Yeah, I can imagine some older person getting this who's probably never had one before and then can't even get the batteries in it. But my late mother died of motor neuron disease, which you'll all appreciate is about as bad as it gets. And so although she did love listening to music and that, she got to the stage where all she could do was press play and stop on a cassette recorder. So it's no good having CD players with little displays and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes these are the best way to go. Especially, I wouldn't have offered one this little size to my terminally ill mother. I'd have offered a much larger model, which is what we did. Anyway, I'll go and get a cassette tape. So here's a brand new cassette tape. I don't like 90-minute ones, that's probably why we've still got some new ones. I always like 30s, 60s, 45s. There were some 75s as well, the shorter length with the thicker tape. Although I've got some 120s which have been successful, not ideal, are they? Just sniff this. Oh yes, it still smells new, which it will be because I've only bought it about 10 years ago. Oops, can't even press the eject button. So built-in microphone. Obviously we could plug mics in and that. So we're going to do a test. We'll just run it. I wonder if my trimming tool takes up the slack. Not quite. So we're somewhere about where we want it to be. So if I just put it into pause, so we're in record. Volume will have no effect on record because it's going to be automatic, and we will have it in voice activation. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3 4 5. 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 And of course you could put it in the out position and it would be normal record. One, two, three, four, five. Testing 1 2 3 4 5. 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 It goes without saying, it's picking up its own mechanism with a microphone like that. It might not have as much noise if it was on a soft surface, and it certainly would be fab and brill if it was on external. So anyway, we have sorted that out. All functions work. Jobs are good, and that cost me a fortune from the United States simply because of the level of postage. So there we are. We've not done a cassette recorder, we've not done any kind of tape recorder. We've got reel-to-reel players, always domestic models, not Swiss ones. I've got a 1959 Philips stereo one though, in a shed full of mice, and that one's looking at sometime. So we will move back on to CB radios. I do want to do, so we were sent to Pi Westminster by one of the viewers, a business radio from the late 60s, very early 70s. It's an AM low band one, and I want to do a video on that. We can borrow some crystals out of another set and put it on 4 meters amateurs just for giggles. We're not going to get a contact on it because nobody seems to be on 4 meters AM, but I can arrange it with Mr. Chippy. So that's going to be a forthcoming attraction. Pi Westminster's are before my time in business radio. The earliest models I was doing in Pi's range were the Olympic M201s. So Pi Westminster's just were before my time. But I do have the full service manual, and obviously we can read and follow that. We'll do that in probably in the next 10 days, and we'll put some CBs in between. So thanks for watching something different, a realistic CTR75 voice-actuated cassette tape recorder which just needed a new belt. Thanks for watching.